Hello chess friends and welcome to Jozarov's chess channel and welcome to my series playing d4. So in this series we are searching for all of the best lines in the d4 battle against all of the possible responses that black can choose. And today we're continuing with the so-called 3 knights variation of the semi-Slav defense. So in my previous video, for those who have troubles maybe to play against the semi-Slav defense as white, please watch my videos before this one because I think they have a really good connection. So I said in this series we are showing all of the possible responses by black, and I'll show you some good lines that you can use in order to get a better understanding of this d4 battle. So today we're going to continue. As said in the previous video, we did this bishop on f5 idea by black in the 3 knights variation. Today we'll do this bishop on g4 idea, and this bishop on g4 idea is sort of an idea by black in order to a little bit attack your knight on f3, maybe doubling up pawns and really try to weaken your king side. But let's see now what's all about and how I should really handle this bishop on g4 idea, because in this battle there is this common mistake that black can make in the opening, and I think you should be really familiar with this mistake, because maybe you can solve your problems in the first 10 moves and go home and win the game. So let's see now what's all about. So d4 d5, let's again see the semi-Slav defense: c4 c6, knight on f3, knight on f6, and now knight on c3. We have the 3 knights variation, and now this bishop on g4 idea. Here I recommend you to play the move knight on e5, because you want really this bishop to get away from this diagonal. Now black has several options. Black can play bishop on c8, which is not good. I think it's because the bishop has already played, and you don't want to get it back on this first square, on the starting square. And black can try maybe bishop on f5, or black can try maybe bishop on h5. So in this video I'm going to show you the good responses against bishop on f5 and bishop on g5. So you see, bishop on f5 is basically a mistake, because here you can immediately take c takes d5, and after c takes d5, here you have a really nice tactical shot. You have the move e4. So let's see what happens if knight takes on e4 here. If knight takes on e4, we have knight takes on e4, and after d takes e4 we have queen on b3, the immediate checkmate threat on f7. So maybe bishop on e6 has to be played, but now we have bishop on b5 here, knight from b to d7 can be played, and now simple forward here d5, the bishop has to move away, and now you can simply castle, and this is a very good continuation for you. And here I think white is simply better. So if here after e4 bishop on e4 is played, then you have knight takes on e4 here. After knight takes on e4 or d takes e4, again bishop on b5, you see it's basically game over, because you have to bring your knight here in between. So you see you lose your queen even. So if here d takes e4, then you have again bishop on b5, knight from b to d7 can be the continuation, but now again this very annoying move queen on b3, and after e6 we have maybe bishop on g5. The threat is of course to take out this knight, which is the key defender of this knight on d7. Black can try maybe queen on a5, but now you can simply go bishop on d2, after queen on b6, here knight on d7, knight takes on d7, and we can even try to take out, to really weaken the king. The king has to stay in the center. Here we can play also rook on c8. So many ideas. Black will have troubles in order to castle here. You see the problems are, we have the bishop pair, it's an open position. I think really white is simply better here. So in the continuation we can also play something like queen on a4, really attacking this knight twice. So as said, many tactical possibilities here. But after d takes e4, you have immediately here, after this move e4, you have immediately queen on b3, again with the checkmate threat on f7. So that's why e6 has to be played. Now you can simply take the queen on b7, and you see the problems for black when you develop this light square bishop. You always weaken your b7 square here, your b7 pawn. So this is your idea to attack here. Knight from b to d7 can be played, but now knight on c6, you see the queen has to move. Of course, on c8 you want to trade off the queens, and now bishop on a6. This really paralyzes now black's position. After maybe queen takes on b7, bishop takes on b7, you see wherever the rook moves, you simply lose the exchange, because we can take the rook with the knight or with the bishop. So in the continuation, maybe knight on b6 can be played, but now simply straightforward a4, again with the idea to attack the knight here on a5. So you see this sort of a gambit variation with the move e4 is really deadly here for black, because the pieces get really paralyzed. You get a huge activity with this e4 move. So as said here, the important thing is after c takes on d4, we have simply e4 immediately, and it's something that you should be really familiar with. This is a very aggressive way to play this semi-Slav, the 3-knight variation with this bishop on g4 idea. So let's see now an example here. It's a game played by Sergei Biryukov against Evgeny Sokolov. We have now, you see, black didn't play the semi-Slav, but he played this bishop on g4 idea, and the white met it immediately with knight on e5. You see, if you try something like knight from b to d7, we can immediately take the bishop on g4 here. Knight takes on g4 can be played, but now you have a very strong move, e4. Again, you should be really familiar with this e4 move in this types of variation. You see, now the knight is under fire, and the knight has to move back, and here we can grab a pawn in the next move. So that's why after knight on e5, bishop on f5 was played, and now knight on c3, now c6. Now we have the similar position. Again, c takes d5, and now again c takes d5. Now queen on b6, also a very strong idea. Of course, again with the preparation we have a different move order, but queen on b6 or e5, these are the best moves here. b6 was the continuation, and now again the move e4. We have bishop takes on e4, knight takes on e4, knight takes on e4, and now bishop on b5, and it's game over here for black, because you have to bring something in between. We can simply takes, king takes, and the queen takes on d5, and it's game over. So you see, queen on b6, queen on b3, pardon me, and this e4 move are the main ideas in this types of variation. If the bishop gets back from g5 to g4 to f5, so be aware of this tactical possibilities and really solve the problems in the early stage of the game. So let's see now the continuation if black goes to h5. So let's see again, d4, c6, knight on f3, d5, c4. So again the same stuff, knight on f3, knight on c6, the 3 knights variation. We have bishop on g4, again knight on e5, and now bishop on h5. Here again I recommend you to really play this queen on b3 idea. Here after queen on b6, it has to be played, because again the b7 pawn is weak. Here simply queen takes on b6, a takes b6, but now c takes d5. You see, after knight takes on d5 and knight takes on d5, we have c takes d5, and the black has really a weakened pawn structure here in the center. So you see, it's an isolated pawn here on d5. These pawns on b6 and b7 are really a weakness, and again I recommend you here to push forward. So you should really go and attack this bishop, because this bishop is a little bit out of game. Here we have a strong idea to move g4. After bishop on g6, there is now a very nice tactical idea, but again I'm pointing out you should be really familiar with this queen on b3 and this e4 idea. It's unbelievable that you can play this move e4 here, because it's with an attack, and with the same move you liberate your bishop here for the square here on b5. Because if bishop takes on e4, then of course bishop on b5, you see after knight and c6 we can play simply f3, kicking away the bishop. After bishop on g6 or similar ideas, we can simply take. After b takes c6, now bishop takes on c6, and you lose the rook. So really great stuff here already. Of course, if you try something like king on d8 here, then we have the fork. Of course, knight on f7, king on c8, c7 can be the continuation, but now f3, we want to bring the bishop on the f file, bishop on f3, and now bishop on f4 with a check, king on c8, and now simple castling with an attack on the bishop. Rook has to move, and we can again grab a piece, and it's game over here for black. So after e4, I wanted to show you also instructive game. It was played by Virginijus Grabiliauskas against Simon Silset, and here after e4, e6 was played, and now bishop on b5. Again, the same idea. Knight, king on d8 was played. Now simply e takes d5, and now bishop on f4. The king is in the center. The king is out of game. The king is here really endangered. We have a weakened pawn structure. Knight on a6 was played. Rook on c8, simply developing moves. We can also go with the king here on d2. The king is perfectly fine here. Bishop on e7 was played. Now castling by white, and here in this position black even resigned, because we have a really huge activity. We can really occupy the c file. Black will never be able to connect the rooks here. The bishop's activity is too huge, and here we can also try something like a3, b4. So this is a very nice position. You can play really freely here. The pieces are on the best squares. You have the rook connection, so this is a completely winning endgame here for white. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you understood these ideas of this bishop on g4 idea. So the idea is knight on e5 with the preparation, queen on b3, and then after that the potential pawn move on e4. So that are the main ideas against this three knights variation in this bishop on g4 idea by black. Okay, meanwhile you can watch my other videos from the series, from my series playing d4, and if you have troubles while playing as black, you can also check out my King's Indian videos, and you can also watch my hyper accelerated Dragon Sicilian videos if you have troubles while playing as black against e4. And again, you can also subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and chess is the best, of course.